The study felt like a courtroom. Mrs. Kong behind the massive desk. Dr. Lee standing with an envelope. Huang in the corner, face unreadable. Amara flanked by Miho and Jiho. And Siho, leaning against the wall, smirking. When did you get here? Miho demanded. I never left. Siho examined his nails. Hidden passages. This was my father's house too. I know every secret. The results, Mrs. Kong said sharply. Dr. Lee opened the envelope with shaking hands. Ms. Williams is pregnant. Approximately 3 weeks. Based on hormone levels and... Who's the father? 3 male voices demanded simultaneously. That's complicated. Dr. Lee looked at Mrs. Kong. The DNA markers are still developing. At this early stage, with identical triplets, I can't differentiate. The DNA is too similar. When can you tell? Siho pushed off the wall. 12 weeks. Maybe 14. When the fetus develops enough distinct markers. So we wait, Jiho said. Like hell, Siho countered. I want daily monitoring. Proof she's not trying to terminate. She'll stay here, Mrs. Kong decided. Under medical supervision. For 12 weeks. Amara stood. You can't keep me prisoner for 3 months. Can't we? Mrs. Kang's smile was thin. Try to leave and see what happens to your visa, your career, your life. We own Seoul, Ms. Williams. Cross us, and you'll have nothing. Then I'll go back to America. Not pregnant with a Kong heir, you won't. Mrs. Kong nodded to Huang. Her passport has been secured. For her own safety, of course. Amara's knees buckled. Jiho caught her. This is kidnapping, she breathed. This is protection, Mrs. Kong corrected. You're carrying my grandchild. Possibly my firstborn grandchild. Which means succession. Do you understand what that means? There are people who would kill you to prevent a Kong heir. Business rivals. Political enemies. You're safer here. Or you just want to control me. Both can be true. Siho laughed. I'm starting to like her. She's got fire. Stay away from her, Miho warned. Why? It might be my baby. Siho moved closer to Amara. In fact, I'm certain it is. I was with her first. Best odds. Probability isn't certainty, Dr. Lee interjected. All 3 encounters occurred within the fertility window. Any of you could be the father. So we wait, Jiho repeated. And until we know, nobody stakes a claim. Agreed, Miho said. Fine. Siho's eyes never left Amara. But I'm not leaving her alone here. I'll be staying in the mansion too. Absolutely not, Mrs. Kong said. Try to stop me. Siho's smile was all teeth. I'm your son. You tried to kill me once. Want to try again? In front of witnesses. The silence stretched. Fine, Mrs. Kong finally said. East Wing. Stay away from her room. Scout's honor. Siho's hand went to his heart mockingly. Dr. Lee packed his equipment. Ms. Williams, I'll need to see you daily. Prenatal vitamins. Monitoring. I know the drill, Amara said numbly. As everyone filed out, Miho lingered. I'm sorry, he said quietly. This isn't how I wanted things to go. How did you want them to go? Amara's laugh was harsh. You were going to hire me, sleep with me, what? Add me to your collection. No. His hand cupped her face. I was going to hire you, get to know you, take you to dinner, ask you out properly. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. I've wanted to since the first video interview. The way you talked about design, about creating spaces that feel like home. I was drawn to you. That's the drugs talking, Amara whispered. I wasn't drugged when I first saw you. And I'm not drugged now. He leaned closer. Whatever happens with the paternity, I want you to know, I'm not my brother. Either of them. His lips brushed hers. Featherlight. Then Jiho's voice from the doorway. Miho, A word. Miho pulled back, eyes dark. We're not done. When he left, Amara locked the door and collapsed on the bed. 3 identical men. 1 baby. No way out. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Miss me already? Buzz. Another buzz. I left something in your room. Under the pillow. Consider it a gift. Buzz. With shaking hands, Amara lifted the pillow. A positive pregnancy test. Not hers. The date was from 5 years ago. Different name on the label. And a note. Her name was Minji. She carried my baby too. Ask my brothers what happened to her. Amara's blood went cold. She called Jiho. Who's Minji? Silence. Then, how do you know that name? Siho left me a pregnancy test. Said she carried his baby. What happened to her? More silence. Jiho. What happened? She died, he finally said. Car accident. 6 months pregnant. The baby died too. Accident. That's what the police said. But the brakes were cut. And Siho was in prison at the time, so he couldn't have. Jiho's breath caught. Oh God. What? Miho had just taken over as CEO. Minji was a secretary. She claimed Siho got her pregnant, wanted money. Miho refused to pay. Called her a liar. 2 weeks later, she died. You think Miho killed her? No. I think. Jiho's voice dropped. I think my father did. To protect the family. And Miho knew. Amara's hand went to her stomach. I need to get out of here, she whispered. I'll help you, Jiho said immediately. Tonight. I know a way through the gardens. We can. Can what? Miho's voice came through the phone. Hello, Amara. You're on speaker now. Jiho and I are having a fascinating conversation about your escape plan. Miho, let her go, Jiho said. This is wrong. Letting her run pregnant and alone in Seoul is wrong. She stays until we have answers. She's not property. She's carrying my potential heir. That makes her family. We protect family. The line went dead. Amara's door handle turned. Locked. Amara. Siho's voice. Outside. Let me in. We need to talk about Minji. Go away. She didn't die in an accident. I had her killed. Amara's hand flew to her mouth. Want to know why? Siho continued. Because she wasn't pregnant with my baby. She was pregnant with Miho's. But she was going to claim it was mine to extort the family. So I handled it from prison. Made it look like an accident. You're a monster, Amara breathed. I'm honest. Which is more than my brothers can say. Something slid under the door. That's the real police report. Unsealed. Read it. See who paid off the investigating officer. Amara grabbed the papers with shaking hands. Payment trail. Offshore accounts. Signatures. Kong Miho. Miho had paid to close the investigation into Minji's death. Now you know, Siho said through the door. The man whose baby you might be carrying is a murderer. Or at least an accessory. And you're any better? I never claimed to be. But at least you know where you stand with me. His shadow moved under the door. Think about it, Amara. 12 weeks is a long time. You'll need allies. I'm offering to be yours. In exchange for what? Nothing. Yet. His laugh was soft. But when I collect, you'll pay happily. His footsteps faded. Amara sat with the police report, the pregnancy test, the impossible choice. 3 brothers. 3 potential fathers. 3 different kinds of dangerous. And inside her, a cluster of cells dividing, growing, becoming a person who would inherit all of this madness. She pressed her hand to her stomach. I'm sorry, she whispered to the baby. I'm so sorry I brought you into this. Outside her window, Seoul glittered. Millions of lights. Millions of people. Millions of chances she'd had to make different choices. But she was here now. Pregnant. Trapped. And somewhere in the mansion, 3 identical men were making their own plans. Days blurred together in the mansion. Dr. Lee's daily checkups. Prenatal vitamins. Meals brought to her room. The brothers taking turns trying to win her over. Miho brought her books on Korean design, spoke about his vision for the company, promised her a place by his side if the baby was his. Jiho brought her flowers, played guitar outside her window, told her stories about growing up as the softer twin in a harsh family. Siho brought chaos. Notes slipped under her door with family secrets. Photos of his brother's misdeeds. Proof that nobody in this family was innocent. And every night, Amara lay awake, hand on her growing belly, wondering which brother had created the life inside her. Week 6. The morning sickness started. Week 8. Her jeans stopped fitting. Week 10. She felt the first flutter. Maybe gas. Maybe the baby. Week 12. Ultrasound day. Dr. Lee set up equipment in the mansion's medical suite. Mrs. Kong insisted on being present. All 3 brothers waited outside. "Let's see what we have," Dr. Lee said, spreading cold gel on Amara's stomach. The wand pressed down. Static on the screen. Then, a heartbeat. Fast. Strong. "There's your baby," Dr. Lee said. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Real now. Not just a concept. A tiny human. "Can you tell the father?" Mrs. Kong demanded. "Not yet, but..." Dr. Lee frowned. Moved the wand. "Wait. What?" Amara's heart stopped. "Is something wrong?" "No. Just..." He angled the screen. "There are 2. 2 what?" "Heartbeats. You're having twins." The room spun. Twins. Amara couldn't breathe. "But how?" "Fraternal twins. 2 eggs fertilized around the same time." Dr. Lee looked up, eyes wide. "By potentially 2 different fathers." "That's possible?" Mrs. Kong leaned forward. "Superfecundation. Rare, but possible if a woman is with multiple partners during her fertile window." Dr. Lee pulled up articles on his tablet. "The babies can have different fathers." "Oh my God!" Amara started laughing. Couldn't stop. Hysterical laughter that turned to sobs. 2 babies. 2 fathers. This nightmare just got worse. Mrs. Kong opened the door. "Bring them in." 3 brothers entered. Froze at the screen. "Twins," Dr. Lee announced. "And based on the development markers, likely heteropaternal." "English," Siho demanded. "Different fathers." Dr. Lee looked between them. "2 of you are fathers. We just don't know which 2 yet." Silence. Then Jiho started laughing too. Of course it's twins. Why wouldn't it be?" "When can you tell?" Miho's voice was strained. "DNA test. I can do amniocentesis now, but it carries risks. Or we wait until birth and test the cord blood." "Birth," Amara said immediately. "I'm not risking them." "Them," Jiho repeated softly. He moved to her side, took her hand. "You're having 2 babies." "We're having 2 babies," Siho corrected. "2 of us, anyway." The room erupted in argument. Who had rights? Who would raise which baby? How to split custody of children who might have different fathers? Amara tuned them out, staring at the screen. 2 tiny beans. 2 heartbeats. 2 lives she was responsible for. Enough! Mrs. Kang's voice cut through. "The babies stay in this family. We'll sort out paternity after birth. Until then, Amara remains here, under our care. 5 more months." Amara looked up. "You're keeping me prisoner for 5 months?" "You're not a prisoner. You're family." Mrs. Kang's expression softened slightly. "And family protects each other." "Like you protected Minji?" The temperature dropped. "Who told you about Minji?" Mrs. Kang's eyes went to Siho. "Does it matter?" Amara sat up. "I know she died. I know why. And I know I'm next if I'm not useful. You're carrying my grandchildren," Mrs. Kong said coldly. That makes you very useful. And after I give birth, what then? No answer. Amara looked at each brother. Which of you will kill me? Miho, to keep family secrets? Siho, because that's what you do? Or Jiho, because you're too weak to stop them? Jiho flinched. Nobody's killing anyone, Miho said firmly. Minji thought that too. Amara stood, protecting her stomach. I want out. I want my passport, my freedom, and I want to raise my babies far from this family. Not happening, Siho said. Those babies are Kong heirs. They stay in Korea. Then I'll fight you. All of you. I'll go to the press, the police, everyone. And say what? Mrs. Kong interrupted. That you willingly slept with 3 men in one night? That you're not sure who fathered your children? How sympathetic do you think the Korean public will be? Amara's face burned. I didn't know it was 3 men. I was set up. Prove it. Mrs. Kong smiled. Yuna has already left the country. No extradition treaty. And the footage Siho showed? Deleted. Your word against ours. You're evil, Amara whispered. I'm protective. Mrs. Kong moved to the door. Dr. Lee, continue monitoring. Gentlemen, give her space. She needs rest. They filed out. All except Jiho. I meant what I said, he told Amara. I'll protect you. How? You can't even protect yourself from your family. Then we'll leave together. You, me, the babies. And go where? They'll find us. Maybe. Jiho knelt beside her chair. But at least we'd be free. Even if just for a little while. His hand covered hers on her stomach. I hope they're mine, he said softly. Both of them. Because the thought of raising them with you. His eyes met hers. That's all I want. Amara wanted to believe him. Wanted to feel safe. But she'd learned. Wanting and having were very different things. Month 7. Amara was huge, exhausted, and plotting. She'd charmed the guards. Made friends with the kitchen staff. Learned the mansion's rhythms. And Secretary Huang, sweet Huang who'd been in love with her from the start, had finally agreed to help her escape. Tomorrow night, he whispered during her afternoon walk. During the shareholders' meeting. Everyone will be busy. I'll have a car waiting at the south gate. And my passport? I'm working on it. It wasn't much, but it was a chance. That night, her door opened. Siho slipped in. Don't scream. He sat on her bed uninvited. I'm not here to hurt you. What do you want? To tell you the truth. His hand moved to her belly. She tried to pull away, but he held firm. These babies. I know they're not both mine. You can't know that. I had your blood tested. Weeks ago. Bribed Dr. Lee. Siho pulled out papers. Baby A is mine. Baby B is Jiho's. Amara's hands shook. How? Different development rates. Different DNA markers. It's possible to tell with advanced testing. He smiled. Miho has nothing. It's just you, me, and my soft-hearted brother. I don't believe you. Don't then. But when they're born and we do the official test, remember I told you first. He stood. And here's the other truth. Jiho can't protect you. He's weak. Always has been. He has more humanity than you. Humanity doesn't win wars. Amara. Strength does. Siho moved to the door. Tomorrow night, when you try to run with Huang, you'll be caught. There's a tracker in your shoe. Has been for weeks. Her blood went cold. But I'm going to let you try anyway, Siho continued. Because when you're caught, you'll realize you need me. And then we'll make a deal. What kind of deal? You give me my son. Raise him as a Kong. And in return, I let you and Jiho take his daughter and disappear. You'd give up a child? I'd give up a daughter. Sons are heirs. Daughters are. He shrugged. Expendable. My father taught me that. You're sick. I'm practical. Siho opened the door. Think about it. Tomorrow, when you're dragged back here in handcuffs, remember my offer. He left. Amara sat in darkness, mind racing. Tracker in her shoe. Which shoe? She checked both. Found it in the left heel. Smashed it with a lamp base. Tomorrow night. One chance. The shareholders' meeting was loud, contentious. Perfect cover. Amara slipped out of her room, down the servant stairs, through the kitchen. Huang was waiting at the south gate with a car. Passport. Amara gasped. Got it. He handed it over. We need to go. Now. They ran. Made it to the car. Engine started. Gate opened. Freedom. Right there. Then. Headlights. Blocking the road. Miho stepped out of a black sedan. Going somewhere. His face was ice. Let us pass, Huang said, voice shaking. You're fired. Get out of the car. No. Huang's hand found Amara's. We're leaving. You're in love with her, Miho said. That's why you helped. You think she'll choose you. I think she deserves a choice. And what will you give her? An assistant's salary? A studio apartment? You can't protect her. Can't give her what she needs. I can give her freedom. Freedom is a luxury she can't afford. Miho opened the passenger door. Out. Now. Miho, please. Amara's voice broke. Please just let me go. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes. Then, I can't. I'm sorry. Guards appeared. Pulled them from the car. Huang fought. They tasered him. Don't hurt him. Amara screamed. Then come quietly. Miho's hand was gentle on her arm. Please. She went. Back to the mansion. Back to her cage. Mrs. Kong was waiting. Foolish girl, she said. Did you really think you could run? I had to try. Now you know better. Mrs. Kong nodded to the guards. Double security on her room. No more walks. No more visitors except Dr. Li and myself. You can't. I can. And I will. Until those babies are born safely. They locked Amara in her room. She collapsed on the bed, sobbing. A knock. Jiho's voice. Amara. I'm so sorry. I tried to stop them. Go away. I'll get you out. I swear. I'll find a way. But they both knew the truth. There was no way out. Not until the babies were born. And then what? Would they take the children? Kill her? Let her go? Amara didn't know which scared her most. Month 9. Contractions started at 3 a.m. Dr. Li was ready. Operating room in the mansion. Full medical staff. The pain was blinding. And in the hallway outside, 3 brothers waited. 12 hours later, at 3:17 p.m., baby A was born. A boy. Screaming. Perfect. Beautiful. Amara held him for 30 seconds before they took him to clean. At 3:34 p.m., baby B followed. A girl. Quieter, smaller, watching everything with dark eyes. Twins, Dr. Li announced. Healthy. Strong. They brought both babies to Amara. She held them, one in each arm, and felt something break open in her chest. Love. Fierce and terrifying. I need names, the nurse said. Amara looked at her son. Kai. It means strong in different languages. Then her daughter. Mina. It means love. The nurse wrote them down. In the hallway, Mrs. Kong was making announcements. Kong Kai and Kong Mina, heirs to the fortune. And in separate rooms, Dr. Li was drawing blood for DNA tests. Results would take 48 hours. 2 days to know which brothers were fathers. 2 days before everything changed. Amara woke from exhausted sleep to find Siho in her room, holding Kai. He has my eyes, Siho said softly. Look. Same shape. Put him down. He's my son. I can hold my son. But Siho put the baby back in the bassinet anyway. The DNA results came back early. Amara's heart stopped. And Kai is mine. Siho's smile was genuine, tender even. My son, my heir, and Mina, Jiho's daughter, not Miho. Despite everything, Miho had no children here. Where is he? Amara asked. Miho, gone. Left the country this morning. Can't stand to be around the reminder that he failed. Siho sat on her bed. So it's just us now. You, me, Jiho, and our children. What happens now? Now we negotiate. Siho pulled out papers. My lawyers drew this up. You sign over full custody of Kai to me. In exchange, I give you and Jiho full custody of Mina, plus monthly support payments, and I don't contest if you want to leave Korea. Amara stared at the contract. You'd really let me go? I'd let Mina go. She's a girl. Not useful to me. He pulled out a pen. But Kai stays. He's mine. He'll be raised as a Kong, learn the business, inherit everything. And if I refuse, then we fight. Publicly. Messily. And you'll lose. Korean courts favor the father, especially wealthy fathers. Especially Kong fathers. Siho's eyes hardened. Sign. Amara. Take your daughter and the man who loves you and go be happy. Or fight me and lose everything, including Mina. You can't take both children. I don't want to. I only want my son. He pointed to the contract. I'm being generous. Take the deal. The door opened. Jiho rushed in. Don't sign anything. He saw the papers. What is this? Custody agreement, Siho said calmly. I keep Kai. You keep Mina. Everyone wins. Except Amara loses a child, Jiho snapped. She keeps a child. And her freedom. And you. Siho stood. I'm giving you both what you wanted. Each other, a baby, and a way out. Take it before I change my mind. He left. Jiho grabbed the contract, reading fast. This is actually reasonable. He's offering a lot of money. Access to education funds, medical care. But I'd lose Kai. Amara looked at her son, sleeping peacefully. I'd have to give up my baby, or we fight and potentially lose both. Jiho sat beside her. Amara, I hate this. But he's right. Korean courts will side with him. He's the father, he has money power. And I have nothing. You have me. Jiho's hand covered hers. You have Mina. You have a chance at a life outside this family. Amara looked between her babies. Kai, who would grow up to be like Siho. Mina, who could be raised with love, away from this darkness. I can't choose between my children, she whispered. Then let me choose for you. Jiho took the pen. We take Mina. We leave. We build a life. And when Kai is older, if he wants to know you, we make sure he can find you. He'll hate me for abandoning him. Or he'll understand you saved yourself. Saved his sister. Jiho's eyes pleaded. Please, Amara, let's take this chance. Kai stirred, making small noises. Amara picked him up, memorizing his face. His weight. His smell. I'm so sorry, she told him. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect you from this family. She kissed his forehead. Then, hands shaking, she signed the contract. 1 week later, Amara and Jiho stood at Incheon Airport, Mina asleep in a carrier. Tickets to Atlanta. New passports. New lives. Behind them, Seoul glittered. The city that had trapped her, changed her, given her children and heartbreak in equal measure. Ready? Jiho asked. Amara looked at Mina. So small. So perfect. So free. Yes. They boarded the plane. As it lifted into the sky, Amara allowed herself one last look at Korea. Somewhere down there, Siho was raising Kai, teaching him the family business, shaping him into the next Kong heir. And Miho, wherever he was trying to forget. But she had Jiho, had Mina, Had escape. No regrets. Jiho whispered, reading her face. Amara thought of that first night. The wrong door. The wrong bed. Everything that spiraled from one mistake. So many regrets, she said honestly. But also... She touched Mina's head. Also this perfect thing that came from all that chaos. Jiho kissed her temple. We'll make sure she knows her brother. Someday. When it's safe. Someday, Amara agreed. But she knew the truth. Kai would grow up Kong. Cold, calculating, dangerous. And one day, he might come looking for the mother who signed him away. When that day came, Amara would be ready. She'd tell him the truth. All of it. And hope he'd understand that sometimes, love means letting go. The plane leveled out. Seoul disappeared beneath clouds. Mina stirred, opened her eyes, looked at Amara with Jiho's gentle gaze. Hey, baby girl, Amara whispered. Ready for our new life? The baby cooed. And for the first time in 9 months, Amara smiled. Epilogue. 18 years later. The doorbell rang in Amara's Atlanta home. Mina, now a beautiful 18-year-old studying art, called out, I'll get it. Amara looked up from her design sketches. Jiho was in the kitchen, making dinner. Their life had been good. Quiet. Normal. Then Mina's voice. Mom? There's someone here to see you. Amara walked to the door. A young man stood there. Tall. Handsome. Korean features with eyes that held ghosts. Hello, mother, Kai said. I think it's time we talked. Behind him, a black car. And stepping out, Siho. Older now. Harder. 18 years, Siho said. I kept my promise. Didn't contact you. Let you live your life. His smile was sharp. But Kai is an adult now. And he wanted to meet his mother. His sister. Mina appeared beside Amara, staring at the brother she'd never known. Kai, she whispered. Mina. He smiled. Warm. Genuine. Not like Siho at all. I've wanted to meet you my whole life. Jiho came to the door, saw Siho, and tensed. Relax, brother, Siho said. I'm just delivering your nephew. What he does from here is his choice. Kai looked at Amara. I know everything. Father told me. The penthouse. The confusion. The contract. His voice cracked. I don't blame you. I wanted to know you. If you'll let me. Amara's eyes filled with tears. She'd thought this day would break her. Instead, looking at her son, educated, kind, somehow untainted by Siho's darkness, she felt something else. Hope. Come in, she said. Both of you. We have a lot to talk about. Kai stepped forward. Mina took his hand. And as they walked into the house together, Amara caught Jiho's eye. Maybe, just maybe, this story could have a happy ending after all.